I think of Urza Saga deck versus some other Urza Saga deck. Do you think there's any edge between one side or the other? The nuances are like Saffron Olive has like an extra Memnite and also has some counter spells like Metallic Rebuke. On the other hand, Luna has more card advantage with Forging of the Anchor. It's a 3-mana card that reveal the top 5 cards, put all artifacts into your hand. And I mean, that could be extra Sojourner's Companions, Mirror Enforcers, could be and things that you can play for free, mind you, that combo with the Simulacrum Synthesizer.
Yeah, I think that's like a slight edge to have that because I kind of feel like the games are going to get like really grindy probably. There's going to be a lot of like I'm going to double block with 2/6/6 constructs against like a 9/9 construct or something like that. Uh, but with that said, I feel like the decks are kind of so close to each other that it's probably not like that much of a difference.
Saffron Olive also has like so it has the extra Memnite, also the extra Moonsnare prototype, so maybe gets Affinity online a smidge earlier on average. Although we're not really going to see it here. It looks like both start off with a tapped land and just passes and do nothing.
Yeah, I think that might. I mean, I can't speak with authority on this strategy, but I feel like that might be a fairly common start with some of these like tapped affinity lands where it's like a little bit of a setup turn, and then you kind of go off a little bit on turn 2, and then turn 3 is where you're trying to do big stuff.
Right. So far, neither player going off. Very similar mirrored starts to this mirror match.
Yeah, we're gonna probably see some synthesizing happening pretty shortly for both players. I would guess.
Hmm.
Next turn, Saffron can drop synthesizer plus the frogmite. Um,
Is there a reason? So Prog might cost 4 mana. There was an option for Saffron Olive to play the Ornithopter into a Frogmite. Is there? Oh, but he wants to hold it back for the Simulacrum Synthesizer.
yeah, trying to extract value, which I agree with that line of play. Like
Hmm.
the earlier turn frog might deal 2 damage or something, but the construct's going to be way more impactful.
This is a type of deck that you're basically doing nothing for 2 turns and then hopefully just completely explode on turns 3 and 4 and overwhelm the opponent.
Yeah, I think turn 3 is the big like play a simulacrum and go off a little bit, and then maybe next turn when you untap with actual access to mana, you can uh, you can maybe even go off further. So a
Looks
lot
like
of
Looks like Saffron Olive is going to be the first one to go off, though, even though looks like he was on the draw. So we're going to have a Memnite into a Frogmite. First person to trigger the Simulacrum. Funny enough, Luna's hand's a little bit clunky. Not enough enablers over there.
Right. Yeah, a little slow. I mean, Saffron basically gets to play the entire handout, which is pretty strong. So could opt to hold the Ornithopter. I don't know if there's a reason to do so. Maybe there is.
Use it for somehow with the Moon Snare, but I don't know what the ability would be for. And that's actually quite wild. There's literally 24, 26, 27 power on turn 3.
Not a bad turn.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad at
Even for
all.
modern.
Going from 0 power to 27 power. Also ramping up an extra mana. You could argue with that Moonsnare prototype going online.
Yeah. Going from 0 to 100 in a blink of a second, that's what these affinity decks do now. Hey, Luna gonna
And
have to carefully consider how to defend against this.
right, and honestly, this might. I don't know if it's actual game over, but it's getting kind of close. I guess there's 4 artifacts on the other side of the board. So, okay, artifact land cycling.
Get a treasure vault.
That's nifty.
Another one. Ooh, so we have two of these on the battlefield. No blue mana for a thought monitor, or how are we gonna get this thing in online? Do we
I
have any
think
floating
it's.
blue
I
mana?
think it's. I'm hoping this construct can block and I don't
Ah,
die.
right.
But I believe with Darksteel Citadel and the ability to create another construct with the Urza Saga that it's probably lethal, or let's see, might be one. It might
12,
actually be
16,
one.
17, 18, 19. Yeah, we
Might
have
be one damage
19.
short. It's probably going to be lethal next turn, though. I have a hard time, even with a go off turn. I mean, maybe it's possible, but I guess with the double synthesizer, it really could be possible that Luna is able to just really go off big here.
Yeah, and Thought Monitor can actually block the Ornithopter just in case there would be some, evasion shenanigans for that last 1 point of damage.
Right.
You see all these artifact lands on the battlefield. I always was a fan of the idea of unbanning the artifact lands on that weird ban list that we have for Modern. But on the other hand, if they got to play artifact lands for, untapped, this might have been could they have gone off on turn 2?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, I had the same belief that, like, yeah, these artifact lands probably aren't, like, don't really need to be here, but maybe there's a good reason, a valid
Yeah,
reason they're on the ban list.
it'd be like turn 1 Springleaf Drum, turn 2 Thin Synthesizer with, like, an Ornithopter, and then BAM! Holy moly!
Yeah, so this actually, I mean, it looks like this did get big enough. Maybe with Urza Saga going off, I'm not sure what Saffron has available to find. Maybe there's some way to get the last point of damage through.
We have 6, 7, 8 creatures. There are 7 creatures attacking, 8 defending. Yeah, what's Saffron Olive's gonna do? Not even chump blocking at this point. I mean, everything will just trade or eat up Saffron's creatures.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, barring something I'm missing here, I feel like this might just be lethal next turn for Luna, and Saffron might not have a way to get that last point through.
Mhm, mhm.
So I feel like I was very wrong in my prediction, where I thought this might be a kind of a grindier matchup, but it looks like it's just who goes off way bigger than the other player.
That's right.
Not even about grinding. Actually, with those boots, it almost feels like it's
Can only equip to 1 creature at a time. We got a Ornithopter chump blocker.
right. To say, like, he could send in just a lethal
Yeah.
a lethal attacker for good measure, but
Look at this, 22, 22. Like, we have 8 22s on the battlefield.
okay, nettle cyst.
Okay.
That I don't think is going to. Oh, let's see. No, I don't think so. There are, like, maybe some world where you could put, like, Shadow Spear on a flyer and do some stuff, but I don't think there's enough mana involved for all this.
It's funny, even if we put Shadow Spear on the largest creature, let's say, like, we equip this Nettlecyst to a Construct. Let's just imagine something. I'm pretty sure with Shadow Spear and Nettlecyst on a Construct, Luna could just soak it up and then reattack back for lethal.
Yeah.
How devastating this board is. Wow,
So
one
there
is not
might
none.
yeah, there might be some scenario where Saffron can put the Shadow Spear on something that allows him to survive the attack, and
Mhm.
then on the next turn create a lethal Ornithopter. I don't think that is going to happen, but
I
maybe
guess
maybe there's that world exists.
maybe the best route is to try to get through all the flyers. So if Nettlecyst was on Ornithopter with a Shadow Spear, that would be lethal.
Yes.
How do we make that
So
happen?
maybe Saffron can get Shadow Spear and put it on one of those giant things this
Mhm.
turn. Throw away his entire board to block. Probably have to get the Nettle Cyst out there too, I think. 'Cause it looks like, so I think Saffron has access to 5 mana this turn, can play Nettle Cyst, can equip Shadow Spear.
Mhm.
Maybe that's enough to survive one giant attack, and then you go all in on Ornithopter on the next turn. Hope that's good enough.
You also have to hope they have enough artifacts on the crackback. I mean, probably you do.
Probably you do. It's not a guarantee.
Mhm.
The
Need to deal at least 7.
Yeah, the synthesizer will create another one here too, which is also nice.
Critical.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually think this might work if you put Shadow Spear on one of those constructs. This might actually work. I haven't done the math. I mean, this is we're at Craterhoof Behemoth levels of math here. I don't know
Yeah,
if
we
I'm
just
wi-
throw everything in front of whatever and then hope it works out.
I don't know if I'm willing to get to do that much, but yeah, it's well.
You heard it
Um,
here first, folks. This is Simulacrum Synthesizer. This is the blue Craterhoof Behemoth.
yeah,
Let's see what happens.
looks like Saffron made the play, which we'll see if it works out.
And you can easily throw away the Nettle Cyst versus Luna because we don't need that germ token anymore.
Oh, for sure. That's just what is it, like a mere 12-12 or something?
Yeah,
Pitiful, embarrassing.
yeah, pathetic. Okay, we have using the activated ability on is it Former Vault?
Yeah, Fomori Vault.
Memory Vault. Pay 3, tap, discard a card. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Put one of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Oh, it's like Impulse on a land.
Yeah, and in this case, Impulse is like look at half your library.
Yeah.
That's oh, there's Shadow Spear. I don't think that Luna has enough mana to play an equip. Otherwise, that would, you know, flip it back the other way. I think I would grab that Aether Spell Bomb personally, because I feel like it's like you're winning this game
Mhm.
through normal means. All you need to do is make sure you don't get cheesed out.
But if we do we have enough mana also for the spell
It's hard.
bomb?
It's hard to say with the. I think with the Springleaf Drum, and I believe there's an untapped land. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Okay.
It'd be enough to
Yeah, there
play.
is. Okay. That's the line.
So
And no matter what happens to this Ornithopter, no matter how big it gets, there's always the line of popping it and bouncing it back to Saffron's hand.
actually, I mean, how many attackers do we have here? Because this set, I don't think it's a lethal. Let's see, 7 or 8 of them. I think there's enough blockers where that's not
Yeah, we have 9 blockers. Those are 8 attackers if
right. So
Luna chooses
that's
to only attack with those.
right. So that's not
10, 11, 12, 13.
okay. Coming in with the team. Maybe going to bounce.
It definitely can block.
Yeah, actually, I think this is a fine attack if you can bounce because if you bounce that construct token, everything has to block, I believe. But
Mhm, yes.
oh, but the okay, actually the 4/4 can block the
Oh,
Frogmites.
she going for lethal here.
Yeah, this might end up being a mistake. Actually, we'll see. Because if you put or okay, oh, everything has to block a construct. So I'm
Oh,
mistaken.
there yeah, everything is a 20/20.
So no, this is a good attack.
Yeah, this is gonna work out. Yeah. We've done the math. You got that many attackers. We only got that many blockers. We're gonna pack it up. Luna takes game 1.
Impressive.
Very, very impressed, especially since she was the one who went off second. She was on the play, but she was the one who went off second, but, uh, did a way more explosive, simulacrum synthesizer hand.
Right. I mean, if we think back to that game, Saffron on turn 3 put 27 power in play,
Mhm.
hit with a 19/19 construct that was 1 damage short of lethal, and
Yep.
then it like just got blown out from that point on.
Yeah, as
Kind
they
of
usually say, 1 is not 0.
yeah. It's very important. You know, what is it? Life total is a resource. Emphasize emphasized heavily right there.
Yeah. I use 19 of my 20 life points. It looks like they're I wonder what do you think are good cards that are gonna be in this matchup?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, so like one card here is Metallic Rebuke that both players have access to,
Mhm.
and I'm seeing it's in one player's sideboard and one player's main deck at the moment as sideboarding is happening.
Yeah.
To me, that's an interesting point to consider. Like how normally I would say this kind of a card is very bad in these kinds of matchups because it's really slow and it's what are you countering anyway? Like you're countering some random artifact that's I don't know what it doesn't matter. But
Right.
with the simulacrum synthesizer being such like an obscene powerful card, maybe it is worth having everything that you could have that could answer that card.
Mhm. Yeah, there are some key cards you might wanna eat up. Yeah, the synthesizer obviously is gonna carry away the game. Maybe a Nettle Cyst, maybe a Thought Monitor so they can't keep drawing cards. So it has, I think, enough targets. But it is awkward because, usually in these matchups, I don't necessarily wanna call it like aggro versus aggro, but you're usually tapping out. You're trying to use as much of your mana as possible to get on the board as quickly as possible.
Right. Yeah. You're not trying to slow play things. It's not like you're playing against some sort of controlling strategy where you're okay taking your time a little bit. It's I wouldn't say it's a race exactly in the traditional sense, like you're not racing their life total, but it is a race to assemble a giant board.
Right. Luna might have a bit of an edge in this sideboard because she brought in Pick Your Poison, which can nail, like, protect maybe just like a turn 1 artifact land. If Saffron Olive puts, like, Tangle Pool Bridge in play, but also, can definitely nail off Urza Saga, which I'm sure is quite a mirror breaker as well.
Right. Yeah. Pick your poison. I feel like it is a little bit. It's going to be kind of like awkward a lot of times, probably if you draw it later, like a little bit later in the game, you don't have it right away. But
Right. Mhm.
exactly what you said, it just feels like such a powerful thing. Like, oh, Tangleroot Bridge. Sorry, bye bye. That seems really good.
Secret Poison actually is such an amazing card. It's like just a multi-format all-star. I mean, any format that or almost any deck that plays green is trying to play green because you can shoot off flyers. Oh yeah, it can also hit the flyers if necessary. Flyers, enchantments, and artifacts.
Yeah, it's very powerful card. I like cards like that that are powerful and reactive. It's like it doesn't do anything unless your opponent's presenting something for it to do.
Hmm.
I think it's a good card.
Very legacy-esque. 1 mana.
Yeah,
Nice 1 mana interaction.
and versatile too.
Saffron thinking really hard about this one. Is this worth keeping here? Got a Moon Snare prototype. Into not much else. It's gonna be not the very impressive start. Or it could go Tangle Pool Bridge into Urza Saga into Moonsnare Prototype, but at the very least, it's on the play. Got that momentum behind him.
Yeah. Oh, I guess it was a multi six. But
Oh, I see. Okay. So keeps gets rid of the Urza Saga. I guess not guaranteed the third mana source to actually make use out of it.
right, and the companion could serve as a third mana source.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a really nice draw. Uh, yeah, serving as another artifact and yeah, getting one step closer to being able to play synthesizer and go off with it.
Mhm. On Luna's side, plays a Lonely Ornithopter into an Urza Saga.
Yeah, this Haywire Mite's going to be very powerful though.
Oh yeah, very good interaction. Sacrifice it for a green to exile. Was it target artifact or enchantment?
I believe so, and importantly, exiles. So Luna had the option to go after the bridge right there. Decided not to. I
Mhm.
guess I don't want to lose to this to a synthesizer was the thought process there.
Mhm. And gets in for 0 damage. No fear. Sign of strength.
Gotta say, it's about sending the message.
Yeah, it's all about the message. Sometimes it's about it's every the message is everything.
All right, so looks like I think Saffron is one artifact short of being able to play the synthesizer and use it. So the question becomes, is it worth doing that? I would guess probably not. I'd probably maybe just play Thought Monitor here,
Oh,
set
it's
up for
so
another
close.
turn.
Mhm. It's very, very
Yeah,
close because the Ornithopter can tap for mana with the Moon Snare prototype.
yeah, yeah. Actually, no, it's still one. Yeah, it's 1 mana short. So
Well, looks
would have
like
been
we're
very
gonna start
close.
off with Thought Monitor to set up a better Simulacrum Synthesizer next turn. Ooh, Metallic Rebuke. Not a bad draw at all, especially with that random blue mana. And 2 Simulacrum Synthesizers. Worked out for Luna perfectly last game. It'll work out for Saffron Olive this game.
Yeah, and notably, Luna is not really doing anything, for lack of a better word.
Mm.
We'll see what this Thought Monitor finds, but
Not sure, but I think Luna would have preferred to have a land this turn to make really good use out of Urza Saga, like make Construct, make Construct. That would get around the Metallic Rebuke for the turn.
yeah.
Mm,
Although,
just
notably, the Rebuke, I think Saffron is short of being able to actually play it.
and we've got okay, so actually it gets in with the Luna gets in with Sojourner's Companion, thanks to the new Lava Spur boots, which gives creatures haste.
Yeah, which is
Actually,
important here because it's probably going to be a little bit of a race this game, if I had to
turns out
guess.
the companion didn't need haste at all. Could use that extra 1 point of damage. All right, Simulacrum Synthesizer hits the battlefield, starts to scry 2. Did they really need the scry 2 on that thing?
Important. You got to find the simulacrums to synthesize. They don't
Yeah.
come free, you know? Yeah.
All right, construct on number 1.
Like the
Interesting.
decision to hold back. I mean, it's kind of a you're gonna go big and try to win that way kind of game. I don't the 2 points of damage, I think it's less important than having the ability to block if you really need to.
Yeah, right. They're gonna make a construct, which, if equipped by the Lava Spur boots, gonna attack in immediately this turn. Which can be done. We have the Springleaf Drum. Boots online.
Technology does exist. I think
Yeah, the
maybe that drum will be used to exile the synthesizer using the Haywire Might, if I had to guess. But
oh yeah, okay. Gonna keep the mana up. Keep things in check. Yeah, the boots is incredibly good technology for the Urza Saga decks because even from my experience, on turn 4, when you make your second construct, you always have this 1 mana left, and Shadow Spear is just, like, weird when you go get it because it equips for 2, and you can't equip it that turn, and it just seems like a bit of a mess. But the Lava Spur is more clean. You get to use that land on your 4th turn to actually equip to the construct token that you just made that turn.
yeah, I agree with you. It looks like a really like clean sequence there. It's not a card that I don't think you want to like draw that card, but having that access via Saga, for one piece of cardboard in your deck, it seems pretty good.
Saffron untaps with the Thought Monitor, the Rebuke. I wonder if he's thinking that maybe Luna has a Rebuke of her own.
Could be thinking of how to pay for this too.
Mhm.
There's a world where maybe you would leave the Ornithopter untapped and tap a different creature instead because you maybe
Right.
want the Ornithopter is a chump blocker.
Mhm. Oh, looks like Saffron's gonna try to do his best to make, a Luna impersonation from last game.
Yep.
But as you said, Haywire Might keeping at least one synthesizer down. Scry 2, it looks like there's one artifact land on top. And a Memnite. Seems like an easy ship to the bottom.
Yeah, if that's a Memnite, I'm sending that to the bottom for sure. Probably sending both to the bottom. And then play this thought monitor and synthesize.
Yeah.
Hopefully, hoping to draw probably a untapped source of blue mana in some capacity.
Well, got a Frogmite. Make more constructs. There's no mirror breakers here for Luna. All right, now we're feeling a little excited. Now we're feeling a little confident attack with this thought monitor this turn.
Yeah, well, I
Oh,
like it. I'd probably send the send one of those constructs as well.
yeah. You
I
don't
think
mind it. You don't mind. Well, there is one problem because you can easily cleanly block with the companion and the other construct, right?
right.
Are we
So
happy trading a 13-13 for their 11-11?
I think I am in this spot because you're winning the big game here. You know, you have the engine active
Okay.
that might be that giant construct that maybe is some scenario where that's finds a way to hit you and I don't know.
True. True. Yeah, that's true.
Or even just to limit the amount of artifacts on the other side of the board to make it harder for Luna to have some sort of a go off turn, I think is also worth doing if possible.
Yeah, got it. Like, put pressure while you're ahead. You're ahead on the board, at least at the time. Reduce your opponent's resources so they can't make a comeback.
Yeah.
She does find her own simulacrum synthesizer.
Which I mean, Luna might have a decent amount of time here with how clogged these boards are. There
Mhm.
might be a scenario where she has time to play that and find the things to go with it to get it online.
Oh, a chump block. How do you
Interesting.
like that versus putting two constructs in front? Because there are two welding jars on the other side, so it's basically trading a welding jar for a construct.
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually missed that welding jar was there, and I think that changes my opinion on the previous play too. I think it makes sense to not want to push into the jar.
Hmm. Everything is ginormous. Mirror match is going to be really fun for anyone who picks up this deck.
Yeah. How much do you like math?
um, at the damage step, great. Before that, I don't like it. There are going to be some chump blocks on the other side. Luna's like, you want a chump block? I can chump block too. And also eats up a welding jar. That's not too bad of an exchange.
Yeah, and notably here, the combination of the Rebuke and the Otawara, I think, is going to be huge here because this Rebuke can counter this. So we are seeing the Rebuke end up doing exactly okay. Yeah,
Oh, wow. She didn't even need to see it.
just
She
needed to
knew.
believe.
Yeah.
Just need to believe it. Yeah,
Let's see how we're going to change things up. All right. Luna not seem to like the pick your poison. It didn't really come up. Maybe it's like a high risk, high reward type of card.
yeah, and I think yeah,
Like early on in the game, maybe it'll be really good. Or situationally, if there's an Urza Saga. Late in the game, well, you have a million artifacts. This is doing nothing.
one thing about pick your poison is I actually feel like it's probably a little bit better on the play
Hmm.
because creating a green source of mana is not trivial for this deck,
Mhm.
and it's much easier when you're on the play and you have access to play the bridge on turn 1, and then if your opponent plays their own bridge type land, then you get to pick your poison.
Right.
But on the draw, it might just not be good. But Luna will be on the play and is boarding them out, so maybe it's just not good, period. That's certainly possible.
He's gonna go on the, line of full power. This is just all beef, all creatures.
I mean, I don't hate it, like, all a lot of these cards that players have access to are pretty situational, even Metallic Rebuke. We saw
Mhm.
it be good there, but, it could have just as easily been bad, and kind of for a few turns, it wasn't. It was kinda bad, so, you know, I don't mind just saying, "I'm not gonna deal with any of these," like, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad cards, and just try to win with playing my stuff.
Well, it looks like the rebuke is coming in. At the same time, like the synthesizer card so far has won both games.
Yeah.
So whoever gets this thing out and, gets value out of it is just far ahead from the other way far ahead over the other player.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong about that, and that does suggest maybe how, like, good Rebuke could be. Just even though it's gonna be bad a lot of the times, it's an answer to the card that matters.
Hmm. Personally, I just fire this thing off on anything if I had a chance.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's how I am too. It's like, "Oh, I can cast this card?"
Yeah.
And it's not fun to sit holding this up every single turn. I'm just gonna
And also remember, you only get value from the simulacrum when these creatures enter the battlefield, right?
yeah.
So they're not upon cast. No, they got to resolve. They got to get through the metallic rebuke.
Ooh, Gemstone Caverns in the opener. You love to see it,
Oh yeah, this is the basically the Simian Spirit Guide of the format at the moment.
but did mulligan.
Yeah, Moon has an
You
interesting hand. Can go turn one Springleaf Drum, turn two Haywire Might, but like maybe go nowhere if you don't draw a land from there.
Yeah, I those well, the companions could cycle, so
That's right.
it's not, like, fast, but
Yeah, keeps it. What can Urza Saga get if not cycled? The cycling still costs two. Do have the upkeep.
didn't draw the land,
That's a
so
heartbreaker.
could
So
yeah, you can grab I mean, I think Springleaf Drum is the only mana producer with only 1 creature, that's not exciting.
there are
Yeah.
several in the deck, so that will work out.
Okay, this is a really interesting position. Do you play the bridge or do you hold up the rebuke? I mean, I think knowing the hands, I think you definitely play the bridge, but Saffron doesn't have that knowledge that we do about that.
Why do you say that?
So yeah, so if he plays the bridge, he can't cast Metallic Rebuke, but if he plays Otawara, he can cast the rebuke, but now notably couldn't cast a synthesizer next turn.
Mhm.
So it's you know, I think a tough decision. I guess also there's the Haywire Might, which can blow up the bridge too, so that might sway it in favor of this play.
Right. Not exactly sure how Luna is gonna get out of this. We're going to what are we gonna grab with Urza Saga? Ornithopter? Another Springleaf Drum?
Yeah, maybe another drum sounds the best to me, and
If we top
you
deck Ornithopter, we got mana.
yeah, or yeah, if you put a creature in play in some regard, can use the mana floating plus this drum to cycle
Yeah.
and hit the land drop, and then next turn you can hit another land drop. Does get the Ornithopter though.
Okay, we're at 4 artifacts. Still not enough to actually cast a oh, no, we can play no, we still can't even play Metal Cyst. Alright, so Luna is a 1 land off from going off. And Saffron Olive had the option, I guess, to play, a Simulacrum Synthesizer for that turn if we went for the bridge, instead.
Yeah. So kind of punished here by the way the game played out by opting to go for the hold up metallic rebuke line.
Hmm.
Didn't have perfect information though, so it's like hard to say it was like, a mistake to play it that way, just kind of how it ended up playing out.
Funny enough, this is our slowest, most patient game of this match. We're at turn 4, and there's no constructs in play at all.
Yeah, this is we have what, one power in play on the fourth
Yeah.
turn. Far cry from what we've seen before.
Someone just joined this match. They're like, "What? This is the next busted deck? Where's the bustedness? Where's the power? What happened?"
All right, so here's a thought monitor, which is most likely going to eat this rebuke. I
Yeah,
would think.
I'm assuming this is, like, bait? Or maybe not. No, there was, no uh, did Luna have the option to play synthesizers this turn? Is just opting not to, just, play Spell Bomb into Thought Monitor?
Yeah, I think which is a safer line of like Saffron's really telegraphing that there's
Yeah.
a metallic rebuke based
Mhm.
on not having played anything. So I think it makes sense to go this route. If your monitor gets rebuked and you have another one, you have a great hand. So
Bait taken. But honestly, from Saffron Olive's perspective, I hate holding up counter spells. Like, okay, I'll let that 2/2 resolve. Okay, you draw 2. Okay, I'll let another 2/2 resolve. And then all of a sudden you just get run over by like the smaller end of the entire deck.
or even worse yet, it's like you let all this happen and then it's like they somehow get so much mana that it doesn't become relevant again.
Mhm.
So I'm with you. I think that was a good play by both players. I mean, you can't sit on it forever.
All right, Simulacrum Synthesizer. Fortunately, facing down that Haywire Might, but drawing 2.
That's where the second one comes into play.
Yeah. They always come in pairs. I find Urza Saga always comes in pairs. I've never seen that card get played against me just as a one of. You blow up the first Urza Saga. Oh, there's the second Urza Saga.
And you blow up the second one though.
I usually feel good after I blow up the second one.
Yeah.
We drawing a card here? Oh, no, no. Oh, yeah, okay. We're exiling this thing immediately. Sayonara, Synthesizer. I
Now
don't know how.
maybe it's synthesizer time again, or okay, the other thought monitor, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that might make some sense. Saffron Olive always has this mana open for so many turns, and is not really playing anything. So maybe Saffron Olive has like a super heavy control hand with a bunch of metallic rebukes. There's like 4 of them in his deck. So Luna again taking the exact same line as last time. But maybe now she has the knowledge. She's got the info that the coast is clear.
Although notably did draw the rebuke now, so it's always had it territory versus
Yeah. Fortunately for Saffron, current hand does not synergize very well with the synthesizer.
does not. And also the Saffron's just been a little bit awkward with these Moon Snare prototypes this game. Like has desperately needed one more artifact in play,
Mhm.
multiple turns. So not drawing a land there is huge because this rebuke will hit if Luna does play the synthesizer.
Mhm. All right, now assist on the stack.
Yeah, this might be one where you just let it go because now you do have a situation where you have access to a lot of lands, and the rebuke's not going to be as hard to play in future turns.
At the same time, like, does he really have a very good defense versus a nettle cyst?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, the nettle system himself maybe using the power of the
Yeah.
nettle cyst against each other, hitting them against each other. Oh, that was a huge draw.
We still don't cast anything through it. I mean, we need like one frogmite, and it might not even be good. Now is like the turn to do something because the metallic rebuke from Luna is down.
Yes, but this is huge. Getting to play a second synthesizer and getting to play the nettle system now, putting an enormous amount of pressure or power into play, and then also if Saffron does now draw something on a future turn, that metallic rebuke might not be enough to even counter it.
Well, I missed something. I thought it was 4 mana or higher. It's 3 mana or higher. This card is more busted than I thought it was.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
triggered off of each other and the nettle cyst.
right. It's kind of gross.
Okay, if this resolves, like frogmites coming down.
Yeah, it's
Huh.
gonna be.
It took a while, but now the army's about now there's just gonna be this big slugfest. And Ether Spellbomb can shrink Saffron Olive's artifacts, but also shrinks Luna's artifacts. But well, another artifact.
That was a huge draw.
Yeah. This is gonna be blocks. The blocks are gonna be terrible now on Luna's side. We're gonna be in chump blocking territory, maybe.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this was a situation where if Saffron draws something to trigger the synthesizer this turn,
Hmm.
it is probably game over. It's too much to come back from. And if he doesn't, then I think Luna, with access to the rebuke, the Nettle Cyst herself, would be able to stabilize and come back similar to what we saw in the first game.
Right. All right. Sending in the team. Saffron Olive. 14 times 4. Anyone can do that math? Anybody? Anybody? Oh, I'm gonna
I'm
bring
gonna
the
do the math of
calculator.
14 times one. I know
40,
you can only let
56.
one creature through.
Okay. Okay.
that's that's the math that I'll do.
That's magic math.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only let one through, so you gotta block the others. That's MTG math right there.
Yeah, and actually, maybe Luna actually still is fine here. We'll see.
Now she's gonna make her own nettle cyst. Alright, here's the war.
So there's what, four? It's 4 versus 4. Oh no, it's 6 versus 4 in terms of giant things.
I wonder if these metallic rebukes are gonna rot in Luna's hand. Ooh, I think Urza Sago is huge. Maybe not an immediately amazing card, but I mean, if the board is gonna be gummed up for a little while, um, I think that's gonna pay dividends somewhere later in this game.
Yeah, this actually might be, because there's exactly 6 attackers. This might be game over. Because if there was only 5 attackers,
Yeah, you can chump block.
then Luna can set up a double block, and once, like, it's kind of like a house of cards. Like, once one artifact falls, the others shrink, and then the damage from combat maybe kills another one, and they,
Mhm.
can keep shrinking in that regard. So it's, could be like a board.